Hello friends, welcome to EC Academy. In this lecture, let us understand input-output description of discrete time systems. Here, we will understand how to define the input and output for a discrete time system. We know a discrete time system transforms an input sequence x of n into an output sequence y of n. So, if we take any system, as you can observe in this block diagram, here we are having a system which takes the input as x of n and it processes the input and it will give the output which is y of n. So, the input x of n is known as input signal or excitation and output y of n is known as output signal or output response. So we can say the discrete time system transforms the input sequence x of n into the output sequence y of n. So we can relate the input and output sequence using t, which represents the system function or system response. Here t is also known as system response. This system is considered as black box, which means we focus on input and output behavior without needing to know the internal working. Now, to understand the input and output description, we will consider the system as a black box, which means we will not bother about the internal working of this system. Rather, we will focus on the input and output behavior of the system. So this system takes the input x of n and it will produce the output y of n. Now let us take an example to understand the system and their responses. Here we have taken x of n, that is equal to n for n value ranging between -3 to 3. For other values of n, x of n will be equal to 0. So n value ranging from -3 to 3, which means this input signal will be having 7 sequence from -3 to 3, which means if n is -3, x of n will be equal to -3. If n is -2, x of -2 will be equal to -2. Likewise, if we have n is equal to 0, x of n will be equal to 0. n is equal to 2, x of n will be equal to 2. So here, as you can observe, we have plotted the sequence for the input signal. So here we got the sequence based on this equation. So for this mathematical equation, we have written this sequence. In the textbook, they have given the mathematical equation like this, where instead of n, they have given magnitude of n. At that case, this sequence will change, because if we are taking magnitude of n, at that case, instead of negative value, we need to take the positive value here. So at that case, the input sequence will be 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So this you need to remember. So we are understanding the system response by taking this example. In this mathematical equation, the input values will be x of -3 will be equal to -3, since x of n is equal to n. So whatever value you have for n, the same value you will get for x of n. So here, if you take x of n is magnitude of n, at that case x of -3 will be equal to 3, since we are taking the magnitude. So for x of -2, we will get -2 and so on. Similarly, we will get x of 3 as 3 and we will get 0 outside the range. So which means outside this range of n, we will get 0 for x of n. So this sequence is developed using this method. So we got the sequence 0, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0 and so on. First, let us understand the identity system. In identity system, we can relate output with input as y of n is equal to x of n, which means the output is same as input. That's why the system is known as identity system. So here, if the input sequence is this, output sequence will be same as input sequence. That's why this system is known as the identity system. Now let us understand time delay and time advance system. To understand the time delay and time advance, let us take an example where you are supposed to reach some place at 9 a.m. which is on time. If you reach that place at 9:30, which means you are late, and if you reach that place at 8:30, which means you are early. As you can see in this representation, if you reach late to the place, the position is shifted towards right side, and if you reach early, the position of the time is shifted towards left side. So this you need to remember for discrete time signal. So if you are reaching at 9:30, it represents the delay, and if you are reaching at 8:30, it represents the advance. So similar process will happen in a discrete time signal. If you are having any sequence, if you want to apply the delay, which means the sequence will be shifted towards right side, and if you want to apply some advance, at that case the sequence will be shifted towards left side. So this you need to remember so that you can understand the time delay and time advance. So first let us understand the time delay system. This system delays the input by one sample. So this is represented by equation y of n is equal to x of n minus 1. In this example, it will delay the input sequence by one sample. So in other example, you can get x of n minus 3 or x of n minus 5, which means it is delaying the input sequence by that value. So in this example, we have taken x of n minus 1, which means input sequence is delayed by one sample. So if we say input sequence is delayed by one sample, delayed, which means sequence should be shifted towards the right side. So how many samples we need to shift the input sequence? So that is represented by this value. Since x of n minus 1 minus represents delay, so we need to shift the input sequence by one sample towards right side. So here this is the input sequence. So here always you need to remember this arrow mark represents the origin, which means this is the value for n is equal to 0, this is the value for n is equal to 1, this is the value for n is equal to 2, this is the value for n is equal to minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and so on. So at the output, the input sequence should be delayed by one sample, which means these values should be shifted towards the right side one division or one sample. That's why this 0 will move here, 1 will move at this point, 2 will move at this point, and 3 will move at this point. So minus 1 will be at this point, which means minus 1 will be the origin, minus 2 will be at this point, and minus 3 will be at this point. So that's why we'll get the output sequence where minus 1 will be at the origin, and you can observe the sequence is shifted towards the right side one division. In the same way, for the advanced system, the input is advanced by one sample for this example. So you can see y of n is equal to x of n plus 1. So plus represents advance and 1 represent one sample. So here you can have 5, 6, 3, any values. So in this example, we have taken it as 1, which means this input sequence should be advanced by one position. So this sequence has to be shifted towards left side one position, which means this 0 will shift at 3, 3 will shift at 2, 2 will shift at 1, 1 will shift here, 0 will shift at this point, minus 1 will shift at this point, minus 2 will shift at this point, and minus 3 will shift at this point. So at that case, the origin will be at 1. So as you can see, this is the output sequence. Here you need to remember, to perform the delay operation for the input sequence, you need to shift the sequence towards the right hand side, and for advance operation for the input sequence you need to shift the sequence towards left hand side. So if you remember this, you can easily perform the operation. Next, let us understand moving average system. So in this system, the output at each point is average of the current, previous and next input samples. So average is 1 by 3 since we are taking the 3 samples. So the output will be average of the current, which is the present input, the previous input as well as the next input. Now this is the input sequence. For this input sequence, if the present input is -3, if -3 is the current input or present input, so 0 and -2 will be the previous and next input. At that case, if we use this output equation, we can write 0 -3 -2 divided by 3, so which will be equal to -5 by 3. So at -3 we have written it as -5 by 2 since the output of the system is average system. Similarly, if we take 2 as present input, then 1 and 3 will act as previous and next input. At that case, we can write 1 plus 2 plus 3 divided by 3. At that case, it will be equal to 6 by 3. So 6 by 3 is 2. So in the place of 2, we have written 2. So the output sequence will get these values based on the present input, previous input and next input by taking the average of the 3. So you can do the calculation for other values as well. Now let us understand the maximum value selector system, where the system output will be maximum value amongst the previous, present and next input samples. So this can be represented as y of n is equal to maximum of x of n minus 1, x of n plus 1. So we will take the present value of input, previous value of input and next value of input, and we will find the maximum value amongst these value and we will replace the value. Now if we consider the input sequence and if we want to replace -3 with the maximum value, at that case we will consider 0, -3 and -2, and the maximum value is -3. So that's why we will replace this position with -3. So -3 is retained here because -3 is the maximum value. So even though the value is negative, it is having the maximum value. Now if we want to replace 2 with the maximum value, so we will consider 1, 2 and 3, and we will understand that 3 is the maximum value. That's why 2 will be replaced with 3. So if you perform this operation for all the input values, so you will get this sequence where the output will be the maximum value of the input by performing the similar operation. Now let us understand the accumulator system. The accumulator will add, or it will take the running sum of all previous input values up to the current point. So this can be represented by y of n is equal to summation of k is equal to -infinity to n x of k. So this is the representation of accumulator system. This equation can also be represented as y of n is equal to y of n minus 1 plus x of n. So this is the representation of the above mathematical representation. So here you need to remember that the output y of n at any point n depends on the current input x of n. So you can see output y of n will always depend on the input x of n and also previous output. So if there is no previous input, the initial condition is taken as 0. Here we are taking an example to understand the accumulator system, where the input sequence is taken as x of n is equal to n u of n. So here u of n is the unit step function, which means x of n will be equal to n for n value greater than or equal to 0. For n value less than 0, x of n will be equal to 0. So here for this input sequence, the output sequence is represented as y of n is equal to summation of k is equal to 0 to n k. So that will be equal to n into n plus 1 divided by 2. So here this is the output sequence and this is the input sequence. So for this we'll take the first case where the initial condition will be equal to 0, which means initially relaxed system, which means we are considering the initially relaxed system where the initial condition will be equal to 0. So let us take for n is equal to 3. So if we substitute n is equal to 3 here, we will get y of 3 is equal to 3 into 3 plus 1 divided by 2. So if we take n is equal to 3, we will get 3 into 3 plus 1 divided by 2. So we will get the value as 6. So likewise you can find for all the values of n. So if we take the initial condition as y of minus 1 is equal to 1. So this is the initial condition which we are taking. For that the output sequence will be y of n is equal to n into n plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1. So this sequence we obtained for the initial condition 1. So here again if we put n is equal to 3, so it will be y of 3 is equal to 3 into 3 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1. So it will be equal to 7. So this is how we can find the output sequence for the accumulator system. Now let us summarize what we have understood. So the key concept which we understood are: the input-output systems can modify signal through delay, advance, average or accumulation. So this we understood, right? So the output sequence can be delayed, output sequence can be advanced, you can take the average, or accumulation operation can also be performed. So the system will modify the signal based on these operations. System may require initial condition to determine the output. So we have taken the example in the previous solution, so where we have taken some initial conditions. So if the system is not having any initial condition, at that case we will take that value as 0. If there are some initial conditions, we can easily find the output of the system, especially in case of accumulator or the system with memory. So these systems will require the initial condition for the operation. So the understanding of this system is crucial in analyzing and designing signal processing applications. So these concepts which we understood are very much important in analyzing and designing signal processing applications. This is about the input-output description of discrete time signal. Hope you have understood the topic. Thank you.